I would say that our liberalism needs to rethink itself, that it needs to be less hostile toward religious ideas and religious practices, and in fact that liberalism rests upon religious ideas. I mean, this idea that the truth will win in the end goes back to the kind of Christian philosophy of history. The idea that we can tolerate evil in public, and we can tolerate bad speech in order to have good speech come about. This is an old story within the Jewish and the Christian tradition. And so I think in a way that liberals deceive themselves, or at least forget, when they say that religion doesn't matter. Especially another thing that media do today is you talked about space, the sedimentation of space. That it's important to think about the ways that a cartoon in Denmark can cause a riot in Jordan or Iran. You know, if you think about the Mohammed cartoon scandal, that media content are not restricted to a nation. You know, it's not, that was because it was a picture, it wasn't restricted to those who read Danish. It was published in Danish, but because it was a picture, it could travel throughout the rest of the world. And so media travels so much faster. They come into the home. And so this whole question where public and private means that liberalism needs to rethink the idea that you can separate public and private spheres, that you can make religion private and make the public only secular. Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the central principles of the law in Judaism is kindness to the stranger. And one of the central principles of Christianity is love of the neighbor. And I think that in some ways, respect for the stranger and love for the neighbor are more powerful foundations for thinking about a society which should be both have solidarity and freedom in it. And so I think in some sense to be to be a religious person means that you can't be a fanatic. It's the contradiction of monotheism, that if you believe in a God, then that means that his presence is potentially everywhere, but it also means that you need to respect those places where his presence does not reach, because you need to be kind and respectful of people who think differently. I think I agree with the liberal ends, but not the liberal means. That is, I would like to see a society which is plural and open and diverse and respectful and kind, but I don't think that we're going to get there by creating moral monopolies. I think that liberalism undermines itself by pretending to be above the battle, by pretending to be neutral. And so I think I would argue for a different kind of politics in order to, that I believe that solidarity is important, that freedom is important, that protest and criticism are important. And so in some ways I would say that I'm like a liberal, but I think my foundations are much more Jewish and Christian. I mean, I would take a kind of much more religious approach to the public sphere, if I can be honest about it.